Hey pumpkins, how are you doing today? I have missed you. I love you. I am now back on a regular basis. This is the third tarot brunch in a row where I have shown up on time. Yay, jazz hands! I have a new laptop. I am figuring things out. It is a new to me laptop. Although I am doing financially better, I don't want to spend my money carelessly, and I did accrue quite a bit of debt, especially debt from friends. So paying them off is more important than uh, buying new equipment. So I bought a used laptop, and it works great as long as it's plugged in. So I can't like just work on my bed with it, and with having issues and with fuses going out. So yeah, this is why you don't buy a new piece of communication equipment during Mercury retrograde, right? So I figure I'm going to get everybody paid off. I'm going to get a car because I need one with the events that I used to do and want to start doing again. Plus, visiting family. I miss nature, and I'm in downtown Toronto, so there's not a lot of nature. Um, but yeah, I have other priorities, and then I'm going to get eventually like a brand new Chromebook or something. My employment here is fairly stable. I'm doing well. There was a 1 month probationary period, which is now passed, and everybody's happy. So, but I work with a senior couple, and um, yeah, it's like I look at the battery, and it's plugged in right now, and it says that 93% is available. Hey, Emma. And it won't hold the charge. When I unplug it, it just turns off. So I've also considered, because it's a decent laptop, I might just, and I got a very good deal on it, which is probably why the power doesn't work. And it's a brand name computer. It's a Dell, nothing fancy, but I might just get the battery repaired, and that might be cheaper than going out and buying a Chromebook or something like that. So we'll see how it goes. Typically, that's the problem when a battery, like it when it only works when plugged in, or if the battery has a short life, is usually that the battery needs to be replaced. I think when I priced it before on an old laptop, it was like about $100, and I bought this one for 429 plus tax, so like $450, which is good. So yeah, like if it's $100 to get a laptop battery replaced, or even 200, then that's worth spending a little extra. Angel, hello. Yeah, so I can finally get client work done. My laptop arrived yesterday, and I didn't get the client work done last night. Merlin and I went for a very long WALK, exploring the neighborhood. We went down to way down one of the streets, and I checked out a yarn shop, which was really cool. But yeah, today I owe client work because it was paid for, and integrity is important to me. And I had actually done the client work and then didn't send it yet because there were a few touch-ups I wanted to make, and then old laptop died, and so so that's it. So I am going to do a reading. There were a few on my list. There's one on Quiddy Brown, Elon Musk, FLDS. Those are the three on my list. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, he's a good dog, but yeah, and he's a lot better than when he was when I started my channel. Um, so I started my channel December 2019, and although if you look on God, what's that site? This is like the income of it says that I started my tarot channel like 12 years ago, but no, my first video was December 2019, and I really kind of blew up. I guess got monetized October, November 2020, and I had made a open letter to a problematic YouTuber, and he Merlin was right in my face, high energy. I had to pay a dog walker to walk Merlin, or I guess I can't say her name because he gets so excited because he misses her, and we haven't seen her in a year almost. But anyway, yeah, because like I couldn't do a live stream with him, and now like often when I turn on the camera, he knows I'm talking to somebody. He wants to say hi, and then he goes and chills out. So right now he's chilling on the bed. Yeah, he's a good boy. I am going to do a video at some point on how to bless a laptop because I haven't done that, and that is something that Andrea Vitamus, who's been my teacher for a number of years, always says that you should bless your equipment. So thanks, Angel. Yeah, it always says that I should bless my equipment. So I'm going to do that on camera, and then you can see how to bless your laptop. I will, of course, give him full credit and do encourage you to visit his website and shop, queencitycurio.com. If you're in the Toronto area, he is on Gerrard East. I've only popped into the shop once or twice, but yeah. Hello, Svarter. Everything is really good. Life is actually pretty awesome right now. So as I've mentioned, I'm working with an elderly couple. They are advanced age, and we are all mortal. So my employment is stable as long as they are able to live in their home. That's kind of that's actually in my contract. So one of them is 91, the other is 87, and yeah, it's my my role here to help them stay in their home as long as they can. But stuff happens, life happens. So yeah, hey Sherelle, I'm here as long as they are, and so I really want to continue to keep them as independent and active in their home as we can. Yeah, so yeah, I don't want to spend like really wildly now that I have a decent income, but at the same point, like I have a lot of expenses that I accrued and a lot of things I didn't buy because I was broke. So things like new bras, and sorry if that's TMI, but I'm a busty, curvaceous woman, so I can't just go to Walmart and buy a box bra. Yeah, so I need new bras, and my weight has changed, so I need to get remeasured, and they're not cheap. Like going to the plus size stores, I'm looking at probably between 65 and 85 for one bra, and I'd like to have like a few of them. So yeah, things like that. And my car died, and I need a new car. Excuse me. So yeah, I have other expenses, and but first and foremost comes the debts that I accrued from friends, and so I paid 2 of them off fully. I still have 3 to pay. One of them, he says I don't owe him anything, but he was incredibly generous, so yeah, I'm going to pay him. So there's going to be money show up in his account because he was good to me. By the way, if I owe you money, if you've lent me money, please email me. Obviously, I have records back in, like, I can look in PayPal and Coffee to see if someone, to make sure that someone actually did lend me money and it's not just some person on the internet saying like, hey, yeah, you remember? But yeah, if you need, yeah, everything felt so expensive. My God, it's like, and I'm assuming that like prices are the same in the U.S. as in Canada of like how much inflation has gone up. Yeah, like I thought that the rent crisis was just kind of a regional thing, but no, it's like everywhere pretty well. Yeah, it's insane. So I'm very fortunate to not have to pay rent right now. Yeah, so I've got this great job with a really healthy income. I'm able to start replacing things like, my ring light died. And so I got a new ring light. It wasn't I mean, there are like super expensive ring lights, but this one I paid, I think like $35. It wasn't, it wasn't like a $200 ring light. But yeah, so I'm slowly kind of replacing the things that I had put on hold for a long time. So yeah, so I didn't want to go out and buy like a brand new Chromebook. So I bought something that was used, and so yeah, now the power doesn't work. So I'll look into having that repaired. It's also good for the environment, so not always have to buy new stuff. So Yeah. And New Zealand, especially, like I've always had an admiration for New Zealand. It's kind of been one of the bucket list places. Um, well, yeah, you're right. If someone has sent me money as a gift, it's a gift. But at the same point, there were people who said, pay me back when you can, and it was agreed upon as a loan. And I moved around a lot and didn't keep the best records. So yeah, I want to make sure that I'm acting with integrity and not paying someone back just because I forgot because I'm you know a bit of a scatterbrain. So yeah, um, and I still owe my daughter. So she my Christmas gift to my daughter was to fly back to Ontario. She's out on the west coast for school, and she didn't plan on coming home, so that was my agreement. And then she had to pay it up front because yeah, things changed in my life. So it was $350 for the plane ticket, which is very good. And I paid her 300 of that, but she also didn't quote me taxes, and so yeah, I owe her about $100 for her own Christmas gift. And I know I feel terrible about that. But yeah, and I actually like messaged a few people who I know had lent me money in the past. I'm like, do I owe you money? And they're like, no, we're square. Are you sure? Yep, let me check my records. No, we're good. So yeah. I am planning a vacation, and I have not taken a vacation in a very long time. So the last quasi vacation I took was going to pick up Merlin in Halifax. So I flew it to Halifax. I only stayed one day because I didn't want to like overstay my welcome. I didn't know these people. Now we're friends, but and then I flew back with a little puppy. Um, but yeah, I am going to take a meander. I know that there are going to be quite a few of my pumpkins who will want to visit with me and say hello, and I don't think I'm going to be able to include people, but there are several people who I want to spend time with, meandering down the east coast of the U.S. I'm nervous. Oh, the mountains would be beautiful. Um, so I'm going to be and in fact, several of the people I'm going to be meeting, I've actually had as guests on my channel. So Sarah Mastros, she was the lady who wore the yellow outfit. She's the kind of online convent. So she is actually leaving for England and Wales on the 10th. So we're actually going to visit on the 9th. And so we're going to go for dinner. And I'm also going to see Matt Grossman, who's someone who I've connected with online but haven't met. And he's friends with Sarah. So the three of us are going to go to dinner. And then that night, I'm driving to visit a friend in just outside of Washington, D.C. And then I'm going to spend a day with him. Then I'm driving to North Carolina, and I'm hopefully picking up either that or meeting her in Florida. Jenna Matlin, who I will have on this show, she is a tarot reader, and she's fabulous. And then after that, I'm going to Florida and visiting with Christiana Gaudet, who was on the show. Christiana Gaudet does have a YouTube channel. Please go subscribe to her. She's amazing. And so Jenna and Christiana are friends as well. They're both tarot readers. We all have red hair. We call ourselves the Queens of Wands, and we've talked about the three of us getting together and drinking fruity drinks on the beach. Hey, Megan. So yeah, that's a plan. So yeah, Christiana's in Florida. And then I have another friend in Florida who I've been online friends with for probably 15 years and haven't met in person. He's gay. There's no hanky-panky going on, but he has an RV and has kind of offered that anytime I want to come down, I can. Oh, like he lives in a house and the RV is in the driveway, so he doesn't live in an RV. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And then I'm going to stay with him for the day. His husband works at Orlando, so that's their like. So when they go out to a bar, they go out to Hogsmeade in Orlando Studios. And I know I have feelings about J.K. Rowling right now. No worries, Megan. I'm just blathering. All right. So yeah, that's my vacation that I'm planning in May. So my birthday is May 8th. which is also my mod Becky's birthday. She's my birthday buddy, and yeah, that's the plan. Is so May 9th, I'm leaving in the morning, and yeah, and I think I might fly back. Like I might rent a car and then leave it in Florida and then fly back. Um, I got to see, how much that's going to be and if I'm allowed even to do that. So I will. Yeah, it does sound like an awesome trip. Oh, you're a May baby as well. Are you a Taurus or a Gemini? Okay, good to know. Yeah, and I've also started seeing someone. It is not official yet. I Um, yeah, he has asked that I respect his privacy online. He's not up to anything scandalous, but he does have a bit of a public-facing job. But yeah, he's super hot. He's successful. We've seen each other a few times. It's nothing official yet. I'm seeing him again on Monday. But yeah, we like each other. He seems to be a person of a lot of integrity. He's a direct communicator, which I really appreciate because I don't read between the lines well, or I don't pick up subtle hints. And yeah, there's other to avoid TMI. There are bedroom activities that we are compatible with. So um, yeah. So life is pretty good right now, and I think that it's only going to get better. So yeah, I've got my Merlin. I've got a job with a great salary that doesn't require a whole lot of like a whole lot of work. Like I mean, I'm on the clock Monday to Friday, 24 hours a day, but I actually only work about 3 to 4 hours a day. During my downtime, I can come up here and read tarot and um, yeah, write my book and make some art. And yeah, I don't have to pay rent, and I'm living in a beautiful home in downtown Toronto. New man, got my Merlin with me. Merlin is celebrated here. The couple I live with loves dogs, but because they're older, they can't have dogs anymore. So having a dog in the house is really good for them. Okay, so now that I've blathered for 16 minutes straight, let's get down to some tarot. So I have started doing a new thing on my tarot brunch where I do a free card of the week where I pull a card for you. And that's your reading. If you do remember your card from last week, that would be helpful if you can tell me that. And we will get started. So who would like the, oh, and of course I still do readings by donation. So if you have a specific question, please do feel free to, if you'd like, so it's free for members or by donation. So if you have a question, I don't answer all questions on my live streams. So my live streams are, I try to keep them fun and upbeat and positive. So the best questions are of a positive subject where you have a say in the outcome, or your actions can determine the outcome. So questions like, where will I meet my next partner? Or should I go back to school? Or should I find a new job? These are good questions. Questions that, oh, I don't think I said hi to you, Amy. Hi, Amy. Questions that I want to avoid are questions that are quite serious in nature. Questions that you don't really have a say in the outcome. So yeah, I'd like to keep this like upbeat and positive. I will answer almost any question on private readings. For private readings, I think the only thing I really won't do is I won't tell someone they're going to die, because what's the point? And I don't answer questions about recent true crime where there is an open investigation. So I have a recent serious true crime. I have no problem like looking into who stole your bike, but if it's like who committed, like I'll do vintage true crime. Like I've done Zodiac Killer. I've done videos on Zodiac Killer, Lizzie Borden, things like that. But I'm not comfortable looking into like if someone took someone else's life, I don't want to interfere with that investigation, and that's an integrity thing for me because even though I am very accurate, I am still human, and I would hate to like falsely accuse someone of something, or have the police put their effort into a false lead when they could be looking elsewhere. So I let the police do their work. Otherwise, I'm pretty good at answering questions in private. So yeah, if there is anyone who has a specific question, they are free for members and by donation for others. So card of the week. I think Emma was the first one. Your card last week was Knight of Pence, which is an awesome card. So I will pull a card for Emma. 5 of Pence. Okay, so probably not my favorite card. That's okay. So 5 of Pence kind of has to do with scarcity and feeling like not having enough. So money questions could come into issue this week of how you're going to make ends meet and how you're going to get by. But at the same point, when I see the 5 of Pence, there's also a sense of like social community, or social services. So there is some. So if you're having difficulty, making ends meet and figuring out your bills, there are some social services that can help you, but you might have to do some research and reach out to them. Likewise, you might be called to be of assistance to someone else who is in need. So this could be a matter of helping someone out if they need a hand. This could be giving a listening ear to someone. So just be aware that when someone is in need, there are resources. Hope that helps. Okay, we go back to the traditional things. I'm pretty sure I remember that card, Megan. So Megan, your card of the week is the Moon reversed. Okay. The Moon upright is often about like creativity and dreams and often like psychic powers, psychic visions. The Moon upright can also be about you dealing with mental illness stuff. Thank you so much, Amy. I will get to you next. Queen of Wands, or Queen of Wands. Thinking it's like 3 Queen of Wands. The Moon reversed. So this often has to do with dealing with life on a very practical level, 2 feet on the ground. I believe that we should follow our intuition, except for sometimes when our intuition is actually our ego, and we follow our gut, and our gut has shit for brains. So be aware of the difference between that, and I think that it can be very easy to get caught up in something and to get like drawn into something that's very, very dramatic. So I want you to just keep perspective, keep calm. If you are a meditator, I would encourage you to meditate. In fact, I encourage everyone to meditate. Even if they're not a meditator, you should start because it is fantastic. There are a million ways to meditate that are not just sitting cross-legged and humming. So yeah, I think that focusing on mental health, focusing on staying calm and stable, and not getting too carried away with things that you don't have physical proof for. So I think the way that I'm going to do members, super chats, and then members, and then others. So Megan, you're the mod. So I'm going to ask you, please, if you could just keep track of super chats, members, and others to make sure that I get everybody. You are most welcome, Megan. Yeah, it's really tough to socialize, Emma. I know, especially when you're dealing with a lot of stuff. And I mean, the virus isn't gone, and we want to keep everybody healthy. And but having an online appointment can also help if you have some time to have a Zoom call with a friend or a phone call with a friend. That can help too. Okay. Amy, we have the 3 of Wands reversed. All right, this is about the waiting game. When I see this upright, this is about, okay, your ship has come in, that thing that you've been waiting for, whether that's communication, whether that's a package arriving, whether that's a message on something. Like you're waiting for something to fall into place so that you can do something else. And it can be really annoying when you're waiting for something to happen so that you can do something else. Example, like I have client work to do and I was waiting for my laptop before I could do something else. So the Three of Wands upright is about that thing coming in. That Three of Wands reversed is about waiting, and that don't get too hung up. Do what you can do, and really don't focus on the fact that you don't have that thing, because there are other ways, there are other workarounds. So you might have to be creative with that. Hopefully that made sense. Oh, thanks, Megan. You're keeping track. Or is that what you put above? Okay. All right. Sherelle. Oh, Ten of Swords reversed on Ten of Cups. Okay. Yeah, that makes a difference. Perfect. Four of Cups reversed. So I'm pulling quite a few reverse cards. I want to reiterate that reverse cards aren't necessarily bad. They can be a more nuanced reading. They can be a more like a reverse meaning. So but it's not necessarily bad. Can be things that are more chaotic. But yeah, Four of Wands or Four of Cups reversed. I see this come up with jealousy, and when not necessarily about like. I think I'm going to pull a clarifier on that. Ace of Wands reversed. Okay, so these two make sense together because Ace of Wands reversed is about a missed opportunity. So if we're looking at something that you could have done that you didn't do and somebody else did, and feeling like you could be where they are if you had made that decision. So there's this regret that you didn't take that, and this feeling of illegitimacy that they don't deserve it because it could have been yours. And I want to say that we don't have a time machine, and there are plenty of opportunities. So just because you didn't get this opportunity doesn't mean that there aren't more. And that's okay. They are allowed to succeed. We are all on our own journey. So yeah, don't get too caught up on what they have and you don't. But yeah, focus on what you can do to take advantage of the opportunities ahead of you. Okay, and to create your own opportunities as well. All right, so I'm doing Super Chats followed by members, so I think Angel is next. Okay. Oh, Elizabeth, you're the one I owe client work to. I will get that done today. All right. Okay, so I think Angel's next. Is that correct? Or let me look up here. Yeah. It's really easy to support, Charlotte, it's really easy to support other people when they're not doing the same thing as you are, and we can have a bit of resentment when someone's in the same field as we are. Like I remember going to university, and there was somebody who was actually I was in a rival with for a gentleman that we'd both dated, and even though she was my friend, there was kind of a frenemy thing, and I was happy with her when she was taking a different course at a different school, but then she entered my program, and I started having like this sense of resentment, like I didn't want her to succeed, and I was like, what the hell? No, she's allowed to have, and she ended up finding that the program wasn't for her, but and then I had this like gloat plan that was just like not okay. All right, planning on moving to Mexico, procrastination station though. All right. Angel, did you end up watching, and if, so this is homework then. There's a video I did probably a little over a year ago with Lori and Rowan called Growing Up Roma, and she moved to Mexico. We had talked about, and there's a story behind her moving to Mexico and a reading I gave her. So, um, yeah. Oh, someone feels that way about you? Yes, that could also make sense. Um, Angel Pavlov, love, love, love the strength card. This is a really beautiful card. The strength card isn't, because when we hear the word strength, we always think about like, muscles, like brute strength, but this is really about inner strength and this inner peace. And this is like such a beautiful, lovely card. When I think about the strength card, I think about, like having a cup of tea on a really like beautiful morning, which I did yesterday. And you have a lot of inner strength, and I want you to really focus on growing those strengths and doing things about those strengths, because I think that you're going to find your purpose within those strengths, things that you can really succeed at. Yeah, there's something that you're really good at that I think that you haven't wanted to explore about yourself because it's a bit scary. And this could also be like you flourishing in Mexico and you really finding your strength there. It takes strength to move to a new country. It takes strength to like pick up and go. It takes strength to not procrastinate. So I think that you have that in you, and I think there's a lot of potential for you to go there. All right. Hello, One Rose. Welcome. Okay. So Megan, who is next? So One Red Rose, I'm doing a card of the week. It's a free card of the week. For questions, I am asking for a donation or free for members. It really can be Angel. It really can be Heaven. Four of Cups. Okay. One card for Crybaby, right. So Crybaby and then One Red Rose. All right, I love that this has come up with you, especially because we do have some client work that I owe you. High Priestess. Okay, so this is about mysteries. And sometimes when we, let me pull a card to see what kind of mysteries, because sometimes they can be secrets. Okay, no, this is about your power. All right. So I pulled the Queen of Pence as the clarifier. No worries. See you later, Angel. Thank you again. Okay, so yes, these are mysteries these are like spiritual mysteries, and I like to give very concrete readings. I don't like to be really fluffy and ethereal, but this is really about your things about spirituality and going down mysteries and answering questions for yourself, which sometimes in answering these questions, they just get deeper and you end up having more questions. So yeah, I think this is really about spiritual exploration and as well combining these, because the Queen of Pence here is a very practical card. So you're combining. Card of the week is something new that I've started doing. It's free, and then specific questions are by donation. So if you'd like a card of the week, Megan can add you to the list. Yes. So find out how you can apply these mysteries and apply this spirituality and apply this spiritual growth towards making concrete changes in your life. All right. So, hopefully that made sense to you, Elizabeth, and we will talk soon. You are most welcome. Okay, so card of the week for One Red Rose, we have the Four of Cups. Two of Wands. Fork in the road. One or the other. You got to make a choice. and they both seem equally appealing, but one of them makes more sense. Is what I feel like. One of them is emotional, and one of them is practical. And it's kind of like, but I want to do this, but it's best to do that. I think that there's bravery that's involved here. I'm going to pull actually two clarifiers for this to see what these two choices look like, which one you should choose. Yes. Okay. And they're both good options. But they're so one is going to lead to you being celebrated, and the other one is going to lead to you following a a more traditional path. There's reverence in the traditional path. Like, it's not a bad thing, but it's kind of like it's going to take a big chance for you to be celebrated. And I think that if you take that chance, you will succeed. So yeah, take a chance. It's hard. It's like you can do the things that you were taught to do growing up, or you can do something totally different. And it's time to do something different because you're going to get a different result. And it's once you get going, it's not going to be that scary, and you'll be celebrated for it. So there could be some sort of award that is associated with it, some sort of recognition. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. Farter. The world reversed. I can see people not liking this. I like this card. And now I know a little bit about you and your situation. When the world is upright, it's about everything is complete, everything is finished, there's a nice bow wrapped around it. And the next card after that is going back to the Fool, which is about new beginnings. This for you says it's not over. It's not done. And to me, this is about, like, you still have a lot of life left to live. You still have a lot of opportunity. You still have a lot of potential. You're not done. So I know that you struggle with some health stuff going on, but I think there's still some really, really cool stuff that you can do. And I look forward to hearing about it. So yeah, world reversed. You're not done. There's still a lot for you left. Like traveling to Finland and practicing your Finnish. I hope that wasn't too much personal information. If it is, let me know, and I'll cut it out after this processes. All right. I think that's everybody for card of the week. Is there anyone that I missed? Oh, it's Fredder. I wanted to tell you. Okay, awesome. I mean, to me, this is unfortunate news. It's not going to, impact you because I don't think that you ever frequented the shop. But so the Great Pumpkin, who you've met, who passed away 2 years ago, his shop is going to be closing down. So two of his patrons took over the shop after he passed, and it's just not. And they ran it all the way during COVID, and it's just not financially viable to stay open and pay rent. And oddly enough, the night before that was announced, I had a dream that Brad owned the building. He's passed away. I'm not and I think I've said his name before. So that's not a dox, but that he owned the building, and he was going through the building, and he was like sorting through the back room and throwing out stuff, and he wanted to like give me stuff, and so that was I don't know, maybe I should contact them and see if there's anything that they feel that they want to give to me. Not that I feel like I'm owed anything, but the scarf. Yeah. Okay. So I had knit. Brad had asked once how much it was to knit a Doctor Who scarf, And I quoted him, and he's like, "Ah, it's too much right now. I really can't. I can't put that." And his birthday is early December, and so I knit him the Doctor Who scarf as a gift, and he loved it. And if that still is around, I would like to, have that as a memento. So I don't think that's inappropriate to ask for that back. Okay, so yeah, if you are down that street, yeah, you'll notice that the storefront is. I think that they're closing at the end of the month. Dreams can be very powerful messages. You're right, Emma. And I've had several dreams, like right before something happens with Brad or with the shop. Um, like yeah, it's so I do think that he does communicate with me through dreams. I think that he communicates with a lot of people through dreams, but that they're not listening. So yeah, the issue is that I the one of the guys who took over, I actually dated in high school, and then I found out that um, he had a history with actually one of my roommates. I moved out when I was 16, and it was inappropriate and not okay. Um, and she had, I don't want to get into too much issues, but yeah, I found out and I hit the roof. And I mean, that was a long time ago, and they were both young teens at the time. So I'm not sure like how to deal with the fact that I called him out on that incredibly awful behavior towards this woman I knew, or this girl I knew. And so for me to then contact him and be like, "Oh, hi, by the way, you now run the shop, and I want this back." It's awkward. I can also ask his wife. I know Brad's wife. Mystic Books. That was another dream that I had, and I came within like an inch of buying that shop, and kind of got messed over, and that was kind of when I decided to leave London. um, yeah, I had a dream that that the shop was for sale, and that I was um, I had heard that Jody had passed away, and I had a dream that the shop was for sale, and that her father was preventing me from buying it, and I was in the process of selling my house, and I hadn't sold it yet. So I went to a networking meeting, and somebody said, "Yeah, actually, the place is for sale right now, and the landlord is the guy who owns the tea shop next door, and he's selling it. You should go talk to him." So I'm like, "Oh my God, it's a sign!" And so I went and talked to him, and he had asked $10,000 for the whole shop, and I'm like, "Okay, as soon as my house sells, I will have $10,000." And I had to wait until the sale went through, and so I was supposed to meet with him on the Thursday, and I like was trying to confirm with him on the Tuesday and Wednesday, and he was at his cottage. And then I really wanted to make it like an homage to Jody, who's the owner of the shop. And he's like, when I finally talked to him on the Thursday, he's like, "Yeah, I sold it to Mary on Tuesday night, and I already gave her the keys, so the deal's done." And like I was going to put a deposit down on an apartment that was like 2 blocks away from the shop, and yeah, like I came and I was like, "What the hell?" And this woman who took over the shop, from what I heard, she used to run the bookshop at the Goodwill Bookshop on Adelaide. So yeah, I'm talking geography. It's sort of, this is too much of a docs for me to talk about landmarks and streets. I can move it back, but she didn't have any magic background, so she knew nothing about magic. She just loved books, and even though it was Mystic Bookshop, it was books. So she had experience running a shop, and I didn't have experience running a shop, but I know the magic stuff. And she's like, "Oh, I can just learn from the books." And I'm like, "You're just going to read the books on the shelf and then give people magic advice?" Because people like go into a magic shop often because they want to learn how to do magic, and she knew nothing. and that's how to get people hurt. So yeah, you can tell I'm still kind of bitter about that. And after that fell through, I was like, F London, I'm out of here. I'm I'm done. Um, and that was kind of why there's a lot that I had that I was done with the city, but that was kind of like the last straw. And yeah, now and I'd walked in there once to talk to her, and she's like, "Oh, are you here for a tarot reading?" And I'm like, "No, I am a tarot reader." And I had actually asked her about doing tarot readings in the back room, and she said no, and then hired somebody else. So, anyways, I am no longer in London. I am in a better, and apparently the shop wasn't like terribly lucrative. But my plan was I'd actually hired staff too. I had hired staff because I was so sure that this was going to go through. And luckily, the staff was a friend, so I could tell her, like, yeah, this didn't go through. I don't own the shop anymore. But she is like a powerhouse when it comes to like cleaning. Because Jody, not to disparage her, she was a bit of a hoarder. So the back of the store was a mess, and the basement was a mess. And I've heard like people talk about evangelical Christians talk about, oh, the basement of mystic books. That's where, like, doctors and lawyers get together and they do all these satanic rituals. And I'm like, no, you can't move in that basement. It's full of crap. So yeah, I was going to hire her to do the organizing, and I was going to take Mystic Bookshop online. There is a bit of a web presence, but not much. But I was going to make it like online shopping, so it wasn't just like London, Ontario was the customer base, but it was like the English speaking world, because we can ship anywhere. And to have that become like a brand name, there are a few kind of brand names within occultism where, like, places that you go to buy oils, and you go to buy good stuff. Like Lucky Mojo is one of them. Not that I don't have anything for against Catherine Ironwood, but yeah, it's came so close to find that, and I was gonna really change it, and yeah, like, not change it in the vibe of the shop, because it was always cool. Like, you walk in and it was always like so chill, and there's Stevie Nicks playing and incense burning, and I was gonna paint the front of the building. And oh, again with that building, Sparta, you're gonna find this interesting. My grandparents used to own that shop, or my great grandparents used to own that shop. It was called Beatty's Smoke Shop, and George Beatty was my great grandfather. So when that was a smoke shop, it was like a convenience store, and he'd go bet on the horses on his lunch break and come back at the Western Fair. So and for a period of time, there was an apartment upstairs where Jody lived, and my mother used to live in that apartment when she was 17. So yeah, I only connection to the building just felt so meant to be, and then it fell through, and I'm just like, screw London. So anyway, that's the story with that. All right. Yeah, I came so close, and I'm still obviously a little bit bitter about that. But yeah, I hope that the store stays open for Jody's legacy. Did you know that gosh, what's his name? Mark. He's known as the Prince of Pot, and he left London and moved. Is it Emerson? Emery? Mark Emery? That sounds right. Um, was the one who first opened up Mystic Bookshop, and when he was under pressure from Ontario police about he's the Prince of Pot, about his cannabis use, he actually moved to Vancouver, and that's when Jody took over the store. So cool history of that building. Yeah. So I don't know if you ever went to Beatty's Smoke Shop and remember Earl and Margaret Beatty, but they were my great grandparents. Earl, not Earl. Earl was my grandfather. My mother's father. This is my mother's parents. Um, yeah. So it was George. Yeah, Earl. I never met my great grandfather. He passed away before I was born. My great grandmother passed away. I think I was 10. It was 1990. and yeah, they owned the smoke shop that was in Mystic Books. So cool. Okay, so I'm going to close up for the day. Thank you so much. Thank you for my members. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, Megan. Megan is an awesome mod. I really love my mods. They're really fantastic. I hope that everybody is having a fantastic day, and may you pray with a good fire. Bye, pumpkins.